What's the word, ladies and gentlemen? This is Andrew, and that is right, guys. It is snowing outside. It's really quite snowy. I think the snow is pretty deep now, but I am safe at home, nice and warm. And I came across a little Reddit post where essentially the Dirty Bomb subreddit was celebrating 10,000 subscribers on Reddit, and they were doing a giveaway, like a dev Q&A. Turns out a lot of developers from Splash Damage were answering a bunch of community questions. Like a bunch of people were posting up questions. So I figured for this video we'd kind of go over some of the more interesting ones, in my opinion, and sort of my reactions slash impressions slash thoughts on them. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it here. I'm just kind of scrolling through this post. And if you guys want to follow along, I'll go ahead and put the link down in the description again. Alright, so we have, let's see, game modes. Someone asked regarding game modes, and Exodor responded by saying, we have ideas for DB variants of the more vanilla modes, but right now we're mainly focused on objective and stopwatch as they're the core of the game. So yeah, I'll be kind of curious to see if they have anything like capture the flag or like a domination type game mode, or like those point capture type game modes. That'd be interesting. Let's see. Someone asked a question regarding balancing loadouts for certain mercs, because as we all know, some mercs have that one great loadout, Sparks 383, right? So Smooth actually responded to this one. He said he really wanted to continue to make all the loadouts viable, right? So what they really want to do is make the less appealing augments more powerful, and maybe even tone down the 383. So we'll probably see that happen within the next couple of patches, just kind of some more loadout balancing changes. The next question here, let's see if there's anything else I really want to talk about. Community maps, that would be something interesting that I never even really thought about. But someone asked, are there any plans to allow community maps in the long term? And Exodor responded, yes, we want to do it eventually. The hurdles are technical rather than ideological, which is good. I think it's a good. As long as Splash Damage slash Nexon is open to that kind of thing, that would be certainly something kind of cool. I know Battlefield 4 did something kind of like that. I know it wasn't 100% community made, but they at least let the community kind of figure out what kind of map they would like. I think that's always good for a player base to be kind of involved in development. Alright, so let's see. Oh yeah, someone asked about the mechanic augment. I know a lot of you guys asked me this in my video, my PSA number 2 I think it was, where mechanic didn't actually take priority over someone who was an engineer who did not have mechanic, and that is actually a bug. They are working on fixing that. People are asking regarding shotguns and balancing shotguns. Someone asked, considering that they have been such a strong point of controversy on the sub, what are your plans on balancing the shotguns? It is obvious that many members of the community think they are too good in public matches after their recent buff. They may be balanced in scrims and competitive now, but for the majority of players they are rather frustrating. So Smooth, he wrote like a long ass explanation, but essentially what he wanted to do was kind of move shotguns up to SMGs like they're kind of leveled. They don't want an instance where a merc has both an SMG loadout and a shotgun loadout, and people always choose the SMG loadout just because shotguns are kind of number 2 and not as good. So they kind of try to bump shotguns up to be just as viable, or at least somewhat close to viable to SMGs. Now Smooth also said that, here I'll quote it for you guys, I do appreciate that it's sometimes shocking to be on the receiving end of a mid-range shotgun blast, so I'm looking to have shotgun pellets continue to fall off to almost 0 damage at longer distances. Hopefully this mitigates some of the frustration while keeping them generally as effective as they currently are. So I think that was a pretty good response in my opinion. I mean, personally, I think I'm okay with shotguns. I mean, using shotguns I'm pretty terrible. If someone kills me with a shotgun, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't really care too much. I'm not one of those people who think shotguns are crazily overpowered, though I think after the recent buffs, they're definitely way better than they were before. Alrighty, so let's see here. Someone else asked about Thunder. Smooth responded to this one. Smooth says, I'm looking firstly to improving the MK46 LMG, as it's not really keeping up with the assault rifles he has access to, and also potentially increasing the impact and duration of the concussion grenades. This will probably be seen in the release after next, as it will be part of a larger overall balance pass. So that's pretty cool. I love Thunder. He's really fun, but I do agree that he is probably definitely not as good as Fragger. The LMG, I'll be interested to see what they do. I have a feeling they may make it more accurate, but I would appreciate if they just made it do a bit more damage. You know, gave it 1 extra damage or make it shoot faster or something. So that would be interesting. The concussion grenades, I don't know if the impact and duration increase would really help. I think they need to bring back that mouse slowdown effect, which I kind of honestly didn't mind that much. That was actually pretty helpful for concussion grenades. In my opinion, anyways. I thought that was a good design. Let's see here. Another question regarding balancing the loadout system. Same kind of answer. You know, you really want to make the loadouts all similar. The augments that are weak better. Regarding marketing with Dirty Bomb, so Smooth said, I'm not part of the marketing team, but I know we're currently focused on improving the game in general before we start pushing marketing more heavily. I expect there will be a much bigger push once we consider the game in a better state to retain the newer players it brings in. I'd expect another when it's in even better state, and we decide to go from beta to release. So that's a pretty good safe answer, I would say. Pretty expected. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so someone else asked regarding more on augments, and I thought the response was pretty interesting because Exodor, this is the person who responded to this question. The question was essentially, I'm asking this from a constructive standpoint. If you want to stick to the idea that all cars should be attractive in their own rights, then why do so many have extremely situational cooldown perk to hinder them? I think they're referring to the perk Cool, the MG one that reduces MG overheating by 50%. Is there a reason for it to? Is there a reason for it, or some numbers to prove its value? Wow, that's kind of hard to read. And the response was, I mentioned it elsewhere, but Cool is sort of an augment that is likely to be retired in the future as Execution has no MGs. So that implies a second generation of loadout cards, and thank God they're finally swapping out some of the useless perks. I would be really excited to see cards with no Cool on them. Dear God, I don't really like that perk too much. And which is a good point, by the way, that Execution has no MGs. I didn't even think of that, but very good point. Alright. I'm not going to read through all of these. There's a bunch of responses and really good, interesting sort of questions and things like that. So just to kind of keep this video at least somewhat short, we're going to wrap up with one more question. And the last question is that I'm going to talk about anyways is, are you guys going to invest more in the subreddit? There is some great idea in critics that would be very cool to have direct line to the devs/community management and such, like there is on the game subreddit, where it's not rare to see an employee commenting on some thread. So basically this guy's asking, how are you guys going to stick around and comment some more like what you guys are doing now? And essentially a bunch of the developers, even the community manager Shu commented, and they all pretty much say that they kind of lurk around a lot on the subreddit, and they all kind of keep track of what people are saying, but as Smooth kind of, or who said it? That it was Exodor actually. As Exodor kind of put it, they have to kind of retain a level of detachment as creators to keep their sanity, which I don't blame them. I mean, they get a lot of like haters and a lot of nasty comments and rage and stuff. And a lot of good critics too, but I would imagine if they spent all day responding to every single comment, you know, may get a little much, because people always have more questions. I'm not saying it's wrong to have more questions, but I'm guessing they're striving to that balance between, you know, being flooded with questions and taking all day to respond to them, but at the same time I would like to see developers interact more with the player base on, you know, the subreddit, on the forums, things like that. So that's it for today. I'll go ahead and leave a link down in the description for you guys if you guys kind of want to follow the thread on your own. But until next time, guys, I will see you in the next one.